Welcome back, and today we're gonna be talking about in/Spectre episode 5, and we learned a lot about Kuro and his past. So, like always, let's just jump into it. So episode 5 starts off exactly where we left off. Kuro is fighting Lady Steel Namase, and it's pretty much a 1v1, Kotoko and what's the other lady's name? Saki. She doesn't, try to help Kuro. I mean, this is a 1v1. And I'm kind of glad because I feel like the two ladies were kind of getting his way. Not because they can't actually fight, right? I mean, we saw from the earlier episode, Kotoko actually, kicked Lady Namase in the face and was able to hold her own. And even Saki, even though she couldn't actually touch the ghost, was able to throw her combos in. But if they were to jump in, I feel like Kuro would try to protect them, and then their life will be in danger. Not Kuro. I mean, that dude immortal. He can't die. But not the Namase could go after the ladies, and then that would kind of put Kuro at a disadvantage. But and we actually see the whole fight get done in this episode. They let Namase go away because they found out that she's not really a ghost. And let me just say, the fight between Kuro and Namase was definitely awesome because now we get to see Kuro the extent of his healing abilities. Okay, because he gets hit in the face, 100% gets hit in the face with that beam, and pretty much just loses everything. It's just blood everywhere. But the healing ability that he has from eating the mermaid flesh brings him all back, 100% brand new, no problem. Okay, 100%. And then we also learn what was the other beast that he ate. Pretty much he ate a prophet beast, and that allows him to pretty much see the future. Okay. So when he was fighting Namase, she swung the beam and he stopped at the exact moment he needed to stop in order to avoid the hit, and was able to get her like into a chokehold and snap her neck. And pretty much at that point when she came back, Kotoko was like, you know what, this is it. There's no point in fighting. Like, this ain't gonna work out. And Namase pretty much just disappears. And then we get an explanation into kind of what Kuros Past was like, right? We know that his ancestors were trying to figure out a way to get the healing properties and not the healing properties, but see the future from the prophet beast. But this beast, once they tell the future, they pretty much die the very same day. Like they only tell the future once and then they die. So one of his ancestors was trying to get the mermaid flesh and feed it to a human. That way, whenever they're told the future, they would kind of heal and they wouldn't die. Now, they did this for a long time. They were doing like trials and feeding it to people, different amounts, and everything failed, okay? And it got to the point where people kind of forgot about it. But Kuro's grandmother, I guess from, knowing her past and all that stuff, brought the research back. And it was brutal seeing this because, we see Kuro being a happy kid, and it's a bunch of kids, man, like at least 10, 15 kids, all eating, their regular meal, like dinner. And you see all of them start coughing out blood and just falling over and dying, except Kuro. He's the only one that survived this ordeal. And then you would think, right, after the grandmother sees that Kuro survived and the research is finally complete and it's a successful experiment, she will be happy. And she was happy, but not in the sense of hugging kisses, more of like cutting up, torture, and see how much she can push Kuro and his powers. And pretty much her goal was to torture Kuro to the point where he just didn't feel any pain. And that's why now he doesn't look like he feels pain. Even though when he was fighting Namase, she was scratching at his face, you could see he was kind of wincing. So I don't know if it was more like it was discomfort or actual him feeling pain, and he just learns how to hide that pain. But Kuro's past is definitely sad, okay? And the level of PTSD that he must have, right, it must be insane. Like, I feel like he's acting, right? Like, even though he's interacting with Saki, his ex-girlfriend, and now Kotoko, I feel like he's really just acting, and when he feels sad, mad, or all kinds of normal human emotions, I feel like he's just acting those emotions out. Like, I don't actually think he feels any of that. And again, it just has to do because of his past. Like, he had a dark past and it was painful, and F his grandmother. And I hope the grandma is dead or Kuro killed her. That would be the best case scenario, because that woman deserved that 100%. But again, this episode we see that Kuro and Kotoko actually are official. Like, the last 4 episodes we see that it was always like a one-sided romance, right? Like, Kotoko was always saying that Kuro's gonna be, her boyfriend and all that, and they're going out. And, that really wasn't the case. But this episode, we actually confirmed that Kuro does see Kotoko as his girlfriend. And I think Saki got a little bit jealous. I don't know. But, she's definitely losing out on a great person, because I feel like Kuro, even though he has this dark past, he's still trying to be a good person, right? He's not trying to just destroy the world, even though he probably could if he wanted to. But, we also see that this Namase has been terrorizing all these monsters to the point where the monsters who are usually scared of Kuro are coming up to him asking for help. So that should tell you how much nightmare of a person this Namase is, and how she's putting fear into all these monsters. Okay, so another interesting thing is that Kotoko was able to figure out that the lady being Namase was not actually like a specter or a ghost or anything like that. It was pretty much created by people's imagination. And it kind of brings in, like, this is only possible because of the internet, right? Because she was explaining that, people could say, oh, I saw these ghosts, and, this is the features that she had and all this. And it takes a lot to create one of these imagination creatures, right? Because you got to not only... A lot of people have to believe in it, and a lot of people have to think about it and put a form into this nightmarish thing. But, it has to be millions and millions of people. And we learned that the only reason she's coming up is because of the wiki that was created, right? Because, again, she looks exactly like the image that was created on the website. And that's how people are able to, like, conjure her up. So, again, it's kind of interesting, right? Because this whole time we thought she was the ghost of one of the idols from the last couple episodes that died in an accident. Which, again, doesn't make sense, because why would she come back as a vengeful spirit? Again, we just have to see who's controlling this thing and what was the purpose of her being created. Because I feel like the person that created this website, maybe they know how this imagination thing works, and that's the reason why they did it. But I don't know how, Kotoko and Kuro and Saki are going to go ahead and face this thing. Is it just as simple as shutting down the website? And I don't think that's actually going to help, because, again, a lot of people already believe in this thing. And there's, witnesses and reports of people actually seeing her. So I don't think just shutting down the website is going to actually 100% make Namase go away. It might help, because now people would, eventually people will stop talking about her and they will actually forget. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to have to find a different way to do this. And honestly, I hope it's like a big battle or somebody's controlling the thing, because, again, from episode 4, Kotoko mentioned that Namase felt like she was being controlled, right? Like even specters and ghosts to that extent show some kind of feelings, right? Like they show emotions. And Kotoko felt like it was just completely empty. So I think there's going to be somebody, controlling everything from behind the scenes. And hopefully somebody interesting, right? Like a main villain. Because I feel like this series is struggling from being like an episodic instead of like a serialized kind of series, right? Like every episode we get a different crime or a different thing we gotta solve. And, episode 2 and episode 3, at least for me, it was really boring. Like episode 2, 100% boring, and then episode 3, the second half was okay, and that's when Namase was introduced. But overall, if they keep doing this, like just one episode or 2 episodes focusing on one actual case, I think it might hurt the series in the long run, because we need a good villain. And hopefully in this upcoming episode, we get to see a main antagonist that can maybe be a challenge to Kuro. Because at this point, who can actually hurt Kuro? I know he's immortal, but dude, the dude took a beam to the face and he was unfazed by it, okay? He was just cool, nice, calm, and collected, got up and did his thing with his future telling beats that he consumed and pretty much just destroyed Namase when he was really trying. So I think we actually need somebody to challenge Kuro and be like a main antagonist. And until that happens, I think this series really is not gonna, be like one of the great ones. We just have to wait and see. I know I've heard a lot of people say the manga is great, so maybe we do get that main villain down the line. But right now, this is all we got. So like always, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, and I will see you on the next episode.